A few days later, a guest editorialist in the student newspaper took Miss El-Razzoui to task. She had failed to ensure that others felt safe enough to express dissenting opinions. Miss Razoui's relative position of power, the writer continued, had granted her a free pass to make condescending attacks on a member of the university. In a letter to the editor, the president and the vice president of the University of Chicago French Club, which had sponsored the talk, shot back saying, "Razzoui is an immigrant, a woman, Arab, a human rights activist who has known exile, and a journalist living in very real fear of death. She was invited to speak precisely because her right to do so is quite literally under threat." You'd be hard-pressed to avoid the conclusion that the student and her defender had burrowed so deep inside their cocoons, were so overcome by their own fragility that they couldn't see that it was Miss Razzoui who was in need of a safer space. Too fucking right.
It isn't popular speech that must be protected. Popular speech doesn't need protection. It is unpopular speech that you protect.
If someone tells me that I've hurt their feelings, I say, well, I'm still waiting to hear what your point is.
Right.
I'm very depressed how in this country you can be told, that's offensive, as if those two words constitute an argument or a comment. Not to me they don't, and I'm not running for anything, so I don't have to pretend to like people when I don't.
Right.
Holy scripture, such as violent social structure elements written by market advocates, or the violent wishes of a fictional god, will not make violence healthy, no matter how much it pervades society. In a war, there is only evil versus evil, and ignorance is the most underrated evil.
Is to kill them?
Kill them.
Conservatives don't give a shit about you until you reach military age. Then they think you are just fine, just what they've been looking for. Conservatives want live babies so they can raise them to be dead soldiers.
It's like, how many evildoers do you have to kill before you become one yourself, you know?
The percentage of Americans supporting bombing in Iraq skyrocketed to 70%, and those in favor of bombing Syria jumped to 65%. When our government and media want to manufacture consent for endless murdering, they know how. They have it down to an art, like Serena Williams with a cross-court forehand, or this lady with that thing she's doing, down to an art.
But we cannot win this war by killing them. We cannot kill our way out of this war. We need, in the longer term, medium and longer term, to go after the root causes that leads people to join these groups.
Maybe we should give people free housing.
War is about killing.
It is totally without regard to your place in society or how much money is in your account.
Why are people so unkind?
And if you feel society can be greatly improved, to consider perhaps, I don't know, taking care of everyone, you are just a utopianist. An open source society? Isn't that Islamunism? You're not allowed to advocate people being nice to each other. People are inherently greedy because I said so. So there will always be greedy people. Also, our great country stands for misunderstanding a problem by creating an enemy and blaming our social problems on that instead of addressing the real system flaws. The reason some people are violent is because they're nigger scum, un-Australian, Satanist communists. It's got nothing to do with the market inherently ensuring inequality. You see, I'm not violent. Only the enemy is violent. Kick that fucking baby out of the goddamn womb and force her to get a goddamn job. A baby selling guns to defend yourself against nigger commie terrorists is far better than a dull bludgeon baby.